Serah here, and you guys are watching me on my YouTube channel Serah Reads, and I hope all you guys are doing well and good. So today in this video I'm gonna do a thriller book recommendation, and without any further ado, let's get started. So the first book that I'm gonna recommend today is the novel The Hidden Child by Camilla Lackberg. Okay, this is the first thriller novel which literally made me cry. So the plot of the story is that, okay, the protagonist of the story, Erica, okay, she discovers a Nazi medal in the belongings of her late mother. Okay, and in order to investigate about it, she visits his story, and then after 2 days he is dead. And actually her investigation leads to a chain of murders. Actually, this is a story about World War II and the families, you know, the families who lost a lot of things in World War II. Actually, it's a very heartwarming story which will literally make you cry, and I want all my readers to give it a shot. It's really amazing, it's really thrilling. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So actually this series consists of 3 books. The first one is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the next one is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and the next one is As Good as Dead. So let me tell you the plot of the first novel, that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So in this novel, the main character of the story, Pippa, okay, she starts to investigate a case for her school project. It was the case of Auntie Bell. Okay, she was murdered by her boyfriend, and her boyfriend committed suicide. So she took up that case for her school project, and actually she finds who the killer is, because the authority, the police says that Auntie Bell was killed by her boyfriend, and boyfriend committed suicide. But Pippa knew that, you know, Auntie Bell was not murdered by her boyfriend, and also her boyfriend had not committed suicide. So it's a really amazing thriller. I should say every teenager out there should read it. It's really captivating and thrilling. And the next one, The Good Girl, Bad Blood, is a sequel to that book. In this book also, she sets out to investigate a case, a missing case of a boy in her neighborhood, and let's see whether if she finds that boy or not. And the next one, As Good as Dead, actually I'm currently reading it, so I can't give you a proper review, but yeah, let's see how it is. And I would rate these 2 books 5 out of 5. Not for this book, like for this book I would give it a 5 out of 5, but for this I'm not giving 5 out of 5 but 4 out of 5. Okay, let's see how is As Good as Dead. Next book that I'm going to recommend today is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So the Evelyn Hugo, she's a very popular actress in the 80s in Bollywood, and she has married 7 people. And a reporter, Monique Grant, she decides to, you know, Monique Grant was invited to do an interview with Evelyn Hugo, and Monique herself was shocked because you know, Evelyn Hugo has not given an interview in a 2 or 3 decades, and one day you know, Evelyn Hugo decides to give an interview for this very unpopular reporter. Monique herself was shocked when she heard that news. So this story is narrated by Monique Grant, and at some points Evelyn Hugo is also narrating. Actually, it's a nice story. It's thriller, but it won't give you a hint where it is a thriller, but still it's amazing, and I want all you guys to give it a shot, and it's a 5 out of 5 read. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is Oru Police Sergeant Ormakuruppugal by Dr. B. Umadathan. Actually, it's a Malayalam novel. Still, I will explain. So this Dr. B. Umadathan, he is a police surgeon, and through this book, he shares his various experiences, various cases that he had looked upon in his service. It's really amazing because it's based on real incidents. So therefore, it's really interesting, really thrilling. So when I started reading this book, you know, some of the cases were very familiar with me because I have seen it all over the news and all. So as being a Malayali and reading such a Malayalam novel was a really amazing experience, and I want every single Malayali who's watching this video to read this. And I don't know whether if it's translated into English. Let me check upon it and I will inform you. I don't think that's translated into English, but whatever, everyone, it's really amazing. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is the most thrilling novel that I have ever read in my life. The book that will give you a head shock plot, the head shock twist, the book with the most amazing twist ever, and that is The Silent Patient. So the plot of the story is that Alicia, okay, she had witnessed her husband's death. Like her husband was murdered. Okay, so she have witnessed it and she went dumb after that. Okay, then a forensic psychotherapist, Theo, he comes to treat Alicia and make her speak. The book, the front page of the book itself says about the plot. It's very easy. Only she knows what happened. Only I can make her speak. So Theo is here to, to make her speak, and let's see if Theo can make her speak or not. Whatever, it's really thrilling. Get ready for an amazing thriller ride. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to recommend today is One of Us is Lying. So the plot of the story is that 5 students who walks into a room for detention, only 4 of them leave it because one of them is dead, and the police, authorities, schools, everyone thinks that one of the 4 among them have killed that guy. So let's see who has killed him, and that's why it is named One of Us is Lying, because one of them have murdered him, and that's why it says One of Us is Lying. It's amazing, but it's okay, but the climax of this novel didn't satisfy me well, so therefore I am rating it a 4 out of 5. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. So the plot of the story is that Hannah Baker, a school student, she commits suicide. After a few weeks, the protagonist of our story, Clay, receives an audio clip from Hannah Baker saying about the 13 reasons, the 13 people why she commits suicide, and Clay himself was shocked because he was also a reason why Hannah Baker has committed suicide. So yeah, it's a very good story with a very different narrative style. So therefore I'm rating it a 4 out of 5, but on the story basis it's not amazing because Hannah Baker have already committed suicide. So this story is all about how Clay is involved. Okay, that's the whole point of the story. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. So the plot of the story is that the protagonist, Rachel, actually she is a very mentally not so much but still quite a mentally unstable drunk woman. She every day travels in the same train and she always observes the things out of the train, and yeah, she literally observes people, and she clearly knew who are living in that house, who are living in this house. She clearly knows it. And one day she sees something very unusual, very unusual in one of the house, and she literally get out of that train to investigate more about it. And after 1 or 3 days she comes to know that the girl in that house is dead. She is also getting involved in the life of the people that she has been only seeing it through window. So it's a very different plot from the books that I have read before. She is literally sneaking into some other people's life, but still at the end of the story she becomes a normal person who realizes the worth of her life and come back to her own life. So in that way it's really amazing with a very different plot and all. So therefore I'm rating it a 5 out of 5. The next book that I'm going to recommend today is Someday I'll Find You by Richard Matley. So the story of this novel is that our protagonist Diana, she is in love with a fighter pilot James, and they get married, and soon after their marriage James have to go back to army because he is a fighter pilot, and also the Second World War is going on. So he joins the battle and he dies. Yes, he is dead, and also Diana is pregnant. So after 10 years, after 10 years of this incident, Diana is living a very happy, pleasant life with her new husband, her child. So she is leading a very happy, perfect life. And James is back. After 10 years, Diana's perfect, pleasant life started to collapse. The person she have loved, the love of her life is back, but not to love her, but to torment and blackmail her. So this is a very captivating thriller novel which talks about the lives of people in the the World War era. So I would say everyone should give it a shot. It's boring at certain points, but I can assure you that it's really thrilling, and I want all you guys to read it as well. The next book that I'm going to recommend today is Woman in the Window by H.A. Finn. Part of the story is that the protagonist, Anna, she is detached from her own family and she lives by her own in another house. And her hobby is to watch neighbors. Yes, her hobby is to look upon what the neighbors are doing, and she clearly knows the routine, everything about the neighbors, and she observes a particular family named Roselles, and one day she saw something which she was not supposed to see at all. It's a family matter, but still she saw it, and she decides to investigate more about it and also to tell the authorities about it. And they literally claim that our Anna is a mentally unstable woman and nobody listens to her. So she decides to investigate of her own, and it's a really nice story. And it was actually boring at certain points. So this story would have been entered in 200 pages or 250 pages maximum, but it was written in 400 pages, and it's boring at certain points. I'm not saying the story is boring, I'm just saying that at certain points it was lagging. So for that single reason I am rating it a 4 out of 5. And also, if you are okay with it, if you want to know the plot, if you want to know the story, definitely give it a shot. So the next book that I am going to recommend today is the most favorite book of the year, that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So I have already done a review about most of the books that I have discussed today, but still I'll tell you. So the story of the novel is that Emmy Dune, she is missing. And Nick Dune, he is very unhappy with the missing of his wife, and he sets out to investigate about it. And at certain point, police discovers that Nick Dune is responsible for the missing of her wife. All of us think like that, and that's when the real twist of the story comes, and it's really amazing, it's really thrilling, and I want all you guys to give it a shot. It's really amazing, and I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. So the next book is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I have bought this book because of the book Gone Girl, and this was her debut novel. And yeah, as a debut novel, this was amazing, but based on the plot, I didn't like this book as much as I love Gone Girl, but still it was okay. So the plot of the story is that a journalist, Camille, is back in her own town to investigate about the murders of preteen girls. At certain points they say she is the killer, he is the killer, she is the killer, he is the killer, but trust me guys, only the last page will reveal you who the real killer is. It's really amazing. It's also really captivating as well. Next book that I'm going to recommend today is The Girl in the Room 105 by Chetan Bhagat. So the story of this novel is that the protagonist, Keshav, he decides to meet his ex-girlfriend Zara in her room 105 in IIT Delhi's hostel. So when he comes to her room only, he realizes that his life is gonna changed forever. Yes, it's thrilling because this book won't give you a single hint about who the killer is, I have not mentioned who died, but still it won't give you a hint about who the killer is, how is killed, nothing. But yeah, it's really amazing. And the climax, okay, the climax was quite, I'm not saying it's similar, but it was quite similar to the novel One Arranged Murder by Chetan Bhagat, but still it won't give you a hint. So that's why I'm rating it a 5 out of 5. The next book that I'm going to recommend today is One Arranged Murder by Chetan Bhagat. This is also yet another thriller novel written by Chetan Bhagat. The story is also narrated by the same Keshav of that book. So in this story, he narrates the story of his friend Saurabh. Okay, Saurabh is getting married to Prerna. Okay, Prerna is his fiancée only, not his wife. On Kawa Chauth day, Prerna invites Saurabh to her terrace to celebrate the Kawa Chauth. Okay, and when Saurabh went there, he saw the dead body of Prerna, and her family says that Saurabh killed her, but he have no alibi for killing her, but still, yeah, he was there at the time of that murder. So in this story, Keshav and Saurabh together tries to investigate who is the killer of Prerna, and this book also won't give you a single hint of who the killer is. For that single reason, I would say Chetan Bhagat is a great, amazing thriller author. I think he should try to write more thriller books. Okay, he's really amazing in that sense. So yeah, therefore I'm rating it a 5 out of 5 for both of that book. So the next book that I'm going to recommend today is Poston of Fate by Agatha Christie. So this book is a sequel in the Tommy and Tuppence sequel. I actually didn't like this book. Yeah, I'm so sorry, because I'm also a very Agatha Christie fan. I love her writings, I love her style, everything, but I didn't like it much. It was so disappointing for me because I bought it from a bookstore. So right after reading its blurb, I really liked it. I was in love with it, but still I couldn't, I felt nothing about this book. That's why I'm rating it a 2 out of 5. I don't know why. I have rated it 2 because of my respect to Agatha Christie only, but I didn't really like it much. Yeah. Next book that I'm going to recommend today, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So the plot of this story is that 10 strangers, okay, 10 strangers, they don't know each other. They were invited to an island, okay, an island, and that those 10 people starts to live there. Subsequently, everyone starts to die. Yes, one after one, everyone is dying, and nobody knew who the killer is. Okay, the killer is among them, but nobody knows who's that. And this is also a story which won't give you a single hint of who the killer is. And all these 10 people are accused of a crime as well. All these 10 people are criminals. I really liked it very much. It's really amazing, and that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. So the last book that I'm going to recommend today is the first book of Agatha Christie that I have read. That is The Murder on the Orient Express. Okay, the plot of the story is that our protagonist, Hercule Poirot, he is traveling in the Orient Express. On one night, the Orient Express stops by snow, and one of the passengers is dead. Okay, in that coupe, there were only 12 passengers. Okay, and Hercule Poirot clearly knows that one among the 12 passengers have killed that passenger, and he sets out to investigate who the killer is. And among all books that I have read, except Silent Patient, the killer of this story, this book have a variety killer. Yeah, variety killer. And yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I hope you liked my video about the thriller recommendations. If you did, please like this video, and also please subscribe to my channel, and also share this video to all your bookish loving friends. And also please do comment your insights and views about this video as well. So see you on next video. Till then, bye.